Hey guys, what's up? It's your favorite dreamer and immigrant, and yeah, today I wanted to reflect on 2 years of being a U.S. citizen. Um, so 2 years and 8 days ago, I became a U.S. citizen. For those of you that don't know, I was born in Guatemala City. I and I've said this many times. My parents came to the United States um to get help for my cerebral palsy. Uh and we ended up staying. Um and I mean, yeah, what can I say 2 years later? Um right now I'm definitely feeling ambivalent about my citizenship because of certain things going on uh in the political arena right now, in the political landscape, especially certain things um going on in LA, to be honest. And I mean, you guys should know where I stand. I didn't vote for the Orange Man. I didn't vote for Mr. Cheeto. Um, that should have been obvious from the get go. I mean, I don't support his policies, his deployment, like when Bush Sr. did it in LA in 1992, is kind of unwarranted, in my opinion. A little bit. I'm not saying there isn't stuff going on, of course, but the other stuff is mostly peaceful for sure. Um, I know people are gonna get mad that I say that, but you guys must have noticed. Um, in the past few months or so, how I sort of shifted to be more pro Latino. Not that I wasn't before. I was just, I wasn't trying to rock the boat too much, but like I felt like, considering the situation, which has been bubbling for months now, I had to say something. You've noticed that I've been defending Latino, you know, I'm not gonna say race because it's it's Latinos are not a race. We're an ethnocultural group. Every race is in can be every race with quotes can be Latino. Um, you know, that's what people don't understand. There are or African Latinos, there are Asian Latinos, there are European Latinos, there are mixed Latinos, mestizos, or Ladinos, as we say in Guatemala. Like me and my family, basically all of my family, except maybe like four of my great grandparents or three of my great grandparents that weren't mestizos. Um, and yeah, guys, well, what can I say? I'm especially feeling ambivalent not only towards quote unquote whites, um, but also my own people, especially the men, because a lot of Latinos capable of voting, they voted for this. This is what they voted for. You're gonna say, oh no, it's not. Well, I mean, you can only fall for some things so much um before it's on you, man. So you know the Fell for It Again award. That's what all Latino or not, if you voted for Trump, that's what you deserve. I'm sorry. Um I'm sorry, like you should have seen this coming. You should have seen this coming. There's no other way to say it. And I'm probably gonna lose subscribers for this, but I don't really care. I have to stand up for my people, and I'm gonna do it. And yeah, like last year, as you've probably surmised, and I'm gonna leave the last year's video on, uh, like in the description, but like I was a lot more hopeful and stuff like that, and now I really can't say that. And um you know what, as far as the relations between races, I know they're not the races again in the American context. By the way, America does not have, as I've said before on this channel, those of you that have been following me know that I have always said this, but America does not have a monopoly, and the Anglosphere generally, their view of race has probably been the most influential, and I mean that in an entirely negative way. Not to say that France uh and all other countries didn't contribute, because they certainly did, but um the the particularly blood or ancestry focused racism of that began in Britain and Northern Europe more generally and found its way to what we now call the United States and um Canada, and developed even more brutally in the South, where um I have lived for most of my life, um is what caused this. You know, gringos love to to um label us as somehow so different from the rest of the population when we're really not. The only thing, and I've said this is really good, is that we're more family focused and we're more community focused. That's why we don't have problems like inkwells or white boys who get no hoes. That doesn't exist in uh the Hispanic community a lot of the times. Now, if you've been in the United States, that kind of does, because again, racists will deny this, but the second and third generation does generally assimilate more. And guess what? Without us, as you guys are seeing now, as Trump again tacoed out, he showed himself to be a taco. He had to stop the raids because people called him up. He's like, we're losing our best workers. Because they've tricked whites into thinking that it's the people themselves, Hispanic and Latino people themselves, which I hate that designation, by the way. Once again, because we're not a race, we're an ethno-cultural group with lots of diversity, that, they should hate Jose down the street who's just trying to take care of his family for work that John Doe isn't gonna do. Uh, so that's the kind of bad side of how I'm feeling about it and being an American citizen. At the same time, guys, I still can't deny how much this country has given me. I know, but like, um, I was able to get an education. I have a master's degree. I have all these things, and like, I'm aware of my surroundings. I have a wheelchair. I have good medical care now. I've already talked about how that limits me as a person, and how it's designed not to let you move forward. Uh, but I mean, I still can't deny it again. It's given me so much, but and this is another thing gringos will keep denying. It didn't come out of the US's national spirit. That's a nationalist lie. That's a lie. You're being lied to. You know who actually went up and did the work for that stuff? We're talking Ed Roberts, Judy Heumann, Brad Lomax, and all the other families and allies of disabled people. That's who made it possible. Yes, Richard Nixon, Carter, and Reagan, Bush did a whole bunch of other stuff. But as far as who pushed them, it was us ourselves. We ourselves. And no one is going to take that away from us. Same thing for Reagan's immigration amnesty. So, yeah, guys, 2 years later, here I am. Oh, feeling very ambivalent about my US citizenship. Extremely ambivalent, guys. What can I say? And to cap this off, you may have noticed my shirt. It says, hold on, definite mental defect. And then this symbol, and this is the symbol that they would write on the examinations of entering migrants in Ellis Island. And really, um, they weren't defective at all. Mental defective is what the euphemism they used back then for someone which we would say probably had a mental illness or intellectual disability. But the truth is, for most of those migrants, um, their only mental defectiveness was not knowing English. Of course, they had just come from, Sicily or Germany or Sweden or the Pale of Settlement. Maybe they only spoke Yiddish or Sicilian or Swedish or whatever, right? Whatever language. Just remember that um your ancestors 100 years ago or less in some cases probably were considered like this and their paperwork was marked. Remember that, guys. Who's considered white has really changed since that time. It's always changing. No matter if I'm gonna get called woke, but this is what that shirt means. And yes, I'm wearing it ironically. Because they would have considered me, through their prejudice, a mental defective. Just because of my physical disability. They really would have. And You know what? I don't know if I can say at this point that I'm a proud US citizen, but what I can say is that I'm a proud migrant and immigrant. I can't say that much. And I am not defective. And neither is any other human being. Alright, bye. See you guys.